Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Our political insider. The House, the Senate, and more governorships, as well as the presidency, all in control of the Republican Party. Does Trump have a mandate? We'll find out. Now we need to hold him accountable. The biggest losers from this election outside of the Clinton crime family is their compatriots in the media and the fraudulent pollsters. Maury, I've been saying this all along, that the polls were skewed, the polls were wrong. They weren't trying to reflect public opinion, they were trying to influence public opinion.
I agree, totally.
Can you take any of these people, can they buy their trust back?
No, I think, I told you, part of, and I studied this very carefully in my industry publications, they're having trouble getting advertising in magazines has gone down dramatically.
And you have to say that the digital age has changed a lot of that. I know I get all my news from iPads and computers.
And it's accelerating, just like shopping centers are worried about Amazon. I mean, these things are happening. You can't, and they lose people when this happens. But the point is, the media did a stupid thing by getting themselves so totally involved in this political game instead of taking a position of nonpartisanship. Instead, they went right on the side of the Democrats. They went worse. They attacked the Republicans, and especially Trump.
But you know, we wouldn't have known, I mean, we would have suspected that, which we have for a while, but we wouldn't have been confirmed, and we wouldn't have known it except for the WikiLeaks emails that Julian Assange put out by the thousands.
I think the guy's a hero.
I think he's a hero too, and I have a feeling that somebody was bankrolling him quietly behind the scenes that you didn't know about.
It sure was very convenient, I'll say that.
Because they would have had just as much information on a President Obama or candidate Obama in 2008 and 2012. They would have had just as much information, maybe not just as much. The Clintons have been around a lot longer, but I believe that Julian Assange was probably financed to get the best hackers, the best IT guys, and I don't think Russia had anything to do with it.
No, and he sure did the job very, very well.
Yeah, and we talked about this earlier in the show. I think at this point you just let it go. Just let it go. I'm talking about the Clintons.
Yes, as far as the media, I think the media has accelerated their demise by doing what they're doing. People are annoyed. I hate to use a local newspaper here as a but how dare they? Who are they to come out against the Republican candidate? It's one thing on a local issue, but for the local paper, well, they followed the orders that they got from Gannett, USA Today, and so on.
I think the Dallas Morning News was one of the first times that they haven't endorsed a Republican candidate was this time. And you know what? It didn't work. That's the bottom line. It did not work.
Of course it didn't work.
Social media has a lot to do with that. People are on Facebook. They're talking to each other with Twitter and through their own texting and websites and Breitbart and Drudge. And that's another thing. I was on Drudge last night, and I was following the election results. And he called Florida, Ohio, and North Carolina an hour and a half before any of the mainstream medias, including Fox News, who kept saying they didn't know if Florida was final yet at midnight. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Well, the point is, what you're saying is there was information available that wasn't made available to the public at large.
Correct. And my friend, who's a big media guy, he's involved in the media, he said they just want you to keep watching. As soon as they tell you it's over, you're going to turn it off. And they're not going to want you to turn it off. So follow the money.
That's right.
So the big losers in my mind was the media and the pollsters.
Big time.
And I think the big winners were the American people and the Supreme Court.
You make a point, and I want to emphasize it. God bless the American people. You know something? I was starting to lose faith and saying, gee, I wish we had the old America. The old America is with us.
Do you know the two voting blocks that voted twice as much for Trump than Romney that put him over the top? I'm sure you know.
Yes. The
African Americans and Hispanics. The same groups that all the left-wing media said Trump hated,
Because
he
you
despised.
see, the Democrats have used them as a special interest group, but they are workers. Don't you think the people living in the inner city who can't have a good school would like to have charter school, for instance?
Right.
They have mistreated. They use them for the election, and then they throw them to the wolves.
And that's what Donald Trump said very eloquently.
That's right.
Every 4 years, the Republicans beg for your vote and then leave and come back 4 years
And
later
you know
without
that,
doing anything
and
for you.
probably there was enough there to help swing it in his favor.
Absolutely was. We need to take a short pause, but don't go anywhere. Our moment in history is straight ahead. It seems the right person at the right time always arrives to help save